Ladies and gentlemen, geeks and nerds, welcome back to another episode of Road to HermitCraft. So last episode we did a lot of talking about the plans for inside the Death Star, about how things are going to be laid out, and this episode we are going to make some progress. Oh yes, so in between episodes, as you can see, I've started laying out some of the framework for how the first few floors are going to look. I'm drawing out circle after circle. Oh geez, so many circles. And I've decided to change up the colours a little bit. So the floor that we're going to be walking on is this kind of dark grey concrete, and the roof of the corridor that goes in between is going to be this kind of light grey concrete, just so we get an idea of what's what, makes it a bit easier to see. And of course I hope you all had very happy holidays and Merry Christmas, and I hope that Santa brought everything from your list. And again, thanks again everyone for all the comments and support from last episode. It's taken me a little while to get to those comments because of the holidays and stuff. But yeah, thanks very much for the support. Of course, always welcome. And if you've got any comments on this episode, then get them down in that comment section. And here we are, inside the Death Star with all these circles. Holy jeepers. Well, if anyone's built circles in Minecraft, you know how frustrating that can be when you get it wrong, which I did a couple of times. But yeah, basically, you've seen the time lapse, so you get the idea of where we are. So here's a better view of the whole thing. So here are the levels. Let me just scoot up. So we've got 4 levels, the framework done for the first 4 levels. So you can see roughly how things are going to be laid out. So for each level we have 4 doors, 1 in each of the 4 sides. And what I've done is all of the signs that we had down there for the first 4 levels I've put on each of the doors. So here we're going to have the carrot farm, which is something we're going to work on today. We've got a cool new design for that, so that is going to be awesome. Stay tuned for that. But before we get cracking, the first thing to talk about is the Geek Squad Hall of Fame, because last week I derped up. So I started talking about Iron Dragon, and I said that he's in the Hall of Fame, but I didn't tell you why, and then I still didn't tell you why last week, because I'm a derp. So yeah, Iron Dragon, and also Botan Rastard, or Rast as we now call him. These 2 guys set up Discord. So the reason we have Discord is just purely down to these 2 guys that stepped up, volunteered to set it all up, and they went through all the pain of configuring and testing and all this kind of stuff. So thank you very much to both of you, much appreciated. I love you both, awesome people. So if you're not on Discord already, then get your butts over there. Let's hang out, have a chat, and yeah, you know, be geeks, because that's what we are. All right. Okay, so I need to get out of game mode 3 now, and we're going to make a start on this carrot farm. Okay, and here we are over at the carrot farm that I've made a start on. So you'll notice that I've created a platform over here of dirt, one over here, and one over here. So we're going to have 3 carrot farms all running in parallel. But you'll notice that here is the door to our carrot farm. This nice little 3x3 with a nice centre, as we all always like, you know. But our farms are not centred. Now there is a reason for this. There is a method to my madness, and that is this. If I do F3 and G, we'll turn on our chunk boundaries, and you'll notice that the dirt is inside a chunk. So we've got 1 farm per chunk. And that is to help us stop losing villagers, because I think there is a bug in the game where if a villager happens to cross a boundary with a chunk when it's unloaded, it's possible for the villager to disappear, and we don't want villagers disappearing out of our farms. So that is the reason. And all I've done so far is created this 16x16 chunk of dirt, bordered it with some black concrete around the edge, and I've created these 4 holes in each farm for the water, so we can hydrate all of this earth. And these holes are 5 away from the corner. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same for each corner. And in the centre, now obviously a chunk is 16x16, so we don't have a centre block, but this one is to the right of the centre, because our centre line is just here. So to the right of the centre, this one is going to be our magic block, which we will talk about in a bit more detail later. Now the farm we're going to be building is a design not by myself. This is a design I've tweaked very slightly so it fits inside a single chunk, but it is by a Reddit user called Squamp, and I'll stick a link in the description to the original post. There's not a video as far as I can see, just a bunch of screenshots, but it's a really interesting mechanic. Okay, and here we are underneath the farm. So this is our magic block just above this hopper. So I've just put down a couple of hoppers that run into this chest underneath, just so you can see what's happening under there. Now let's see if we can do a bit of ender pearl magic. Hey! Oh yeah. Oh yeah, ender pearl magic. Here we go. So now we need to just get this magic block ready. So we're going to break this, and then we need to pop a rail down. Then we need a minecart hopper on top. So this is what's going to suck the items, because what's going to happen is when the villager plants the crop, it's going to pop off, but the minecart hopper will take priority and it will grab it. So then we need to get some dirt, like so. Pop that there. We're also going to need a piston, so I have to break that, I think. Go down here, and I've got a piston somewhere. Here we go. I'm kind of prepared. Put that down there. Awesome. And then we get our redstone block. Pop him. Not there. Not there, you noob. Actually, yeah, I need to break the rail. Oh my god. Oh my god. Logic shows how noob he is. Break the rail. Pop that. Ah, not there. Jeez, Logic. What are you doing? Bro, seriously. There. There we go. And then that dirt block goes down into the minecart hopper, which is now in there. Okay, and here we are with some progress. Okay, so I've done this back wall. What do you reckon? So this is made up of white, black and grey glass, both the blocks and panes, and also iron bars, just in a kind of a random pattern, just to give it a bit of interest. And there is, and what I've tried to do is always have at least one block, full block on each column, if you like, and that's to stop the villager if he walks over here, going right up and getting into, getting on top of this black block, because that would be outside of the chunk. So if I push against the wall and I walk along, I can't go in there. So that's how that's kind of set up. I think it looks all right. I wanted to get a bit of interest. That's why I'm kind of using a mixture of colours and depth as well, just for a bit of interest in the wall, so it's not too boring. So I've done it on that wall and on this front wall as well. Also added a door, so if you ever want to come into the farm, it's nice and easy for us if you want to check things out. And in terms of the other two farms, I've added all the water and I've added the collection underneath, with the minecart hopper and stuff. So those other two farms are ready to go in that case. And also these carrots have been growing as I've been here. So I've just been harvesting them and replanting and sort of expanding this area as we go. Okay, I finished up the walls on our first farm over there, and I've also laid down this track which leads all the way down to our asteroid over by our iron farm that has a farmer inside. So now the moment of truth. How easy is it going to be to get this farmer out? Now he was stuck in the corner inside, but I've been in and kind of freed him out, and he's in here now. Okay, I've had to break a bit of the asteroid to be able to sort of maneuver him. So let's see how easy this is to do. I don't want anyone to escape quickly. Put some glass back there. Right, so let's get you out of the way, guy. Don't want you, thank you very much, but what I do want is you. So, oh, there he goes. Right, is this going to work? Let's get out of here quickly as we can. There he goes. There he goes. He's off. Okay, come on. Hopefully this has worked and he's going to be inside our farm. Hi, guy. How's it going? Welcome to your new home for the rest of your life. Right, let's turn on hitboxes and let's give this a break. Let's make sure we hit the minecart and not the guy. And he's going to go over here and start farming. Alright, so our farm's not going to work just yet because we have to finish this up and we have to do the lighting and stuff. But he'll be doing some stuff anyway. So let me continue with this and I'll bring you back in. Embrace the void. Don't be afraid of void damage. That's an achievement I just got because I went over to the overworld to get some red dye to do this thing over here, which we'll talk about in a second. But then on the way back, I tried to fly from the Falcon over to here, and my elytra didn't engage. I had them on, I had rockets, and they didn't engage. So I just ended up falling into the void, falling. So I just quickly paused the game. I shut everything down, restarted my computer, started up again, and when I rejoined this game, I started taking full damage. But then luckily my wings kicked in. Obviously I was firing my rockets like a madman, and then I managed to fly over here and all was good, and I had like 2 hearts left. So yeah, had a bit of a heart attack there, but we survived, which is good. Because if we die, we've only got 1 set of elytra, and if we die, that's going to be bad news. Pretty bad news, because all of our stuff is over here and we need elytra to get here really, unless we want to pillar over forever. So anyway, we need to get some backup elytra at some point soon, just in case. And the farm is done and working. And here is our magic block. And you'll notice that this doesn't have any crops in it, and that is because this block is at light level 7, and all the other blocks around it are at light level 8 or above. And that's because of the formation we've put our lights in, which I'll show you in a second. And what happens here is that if you try and plant a crop in this spot, it will immediately pop off. And that is because, as I said, the light level is 7, but also it's being constantly updated just by these 2 observers that face each other. So their faces are here in this here. So this is constantly being updated, and because it's been updated and it's light level 7, the crops pop off immediately. And because the hopper minecart is inside this block, it takes priority. So even if I'm standing on top of it, which I'll demonstrate right now, I've got 3 carrots in my inventory. If I try and plant one here, disappears. 2 disappears. 1, no more. And there's a carrot guy. Here he is. He's going to try and do it himself, is he? Maybe not. Okay, so that's how it works. And above the magic block you need to have an opaque block, so it blocks the sky access to it. And if we go up here, I will show you, whoa, Enderman dude, I'll show you how the lights are set up. So here's our magic block right here, and if you go out 2 at an angle, 2 on the diagonal, 1, 2, and the 3rd block you have a light. Do that in all 4 corners, and once you've done that, you can go out another 2 blocks, 1, 2, and another light. So do that in all 4 corners. So that should give you most of the lights. And then the last few to do, if you go out from your magic block and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the 6th block out in each of the 4 directions, put another light, and that is it. That's all your lights done. So that will give you the correct lighting for that 1 block there. And our carrot guy, there he is down there, will be harvesting. And when he notices that block is empty, he'll go over there and start planting. There he goes. And you see the plants going down and popping off. Awesome. And they'll end up in a chest underneath. So this one is all done and dusted. Pretty happy with how that's turned out. So just need to build up these last 2 farms. And what I've done is, obviously we took the farmer from the asteroid over there. I've given those guys some more carrots that I took from here, and hopefully they'll now breed up to replace him. And what I'll do is I'll go over there periodically and check to see what baby we get, and I will, if it's not a farmer, I'll get rid of it and keep going until we get another farmer, and then we can bring them over, 2 more farmers, and bring them over here for these 2 farms. Alright, let's get cracking. Alright, and as I build up these 2 last carrot farms, a couple of things to maybe talk about, and I'd like to hear your feedback. So first of all, a couple of episodes ago I was talking about 1.13, and there are a couple of things that are going to affect us moving forward. So the first thing is that they have fixed TNT duping, which yeah, that's a bug that was always going to be fixed at some point, but of course we haven't quite finished destroying our end island, so we're going to have to make sure we do that before we upgrade to 1.13. The other thing to talk about in terms of 1.13 is that they have fixed breaking bedrock using a dragon egg in a lazy chunk, which is a method that we used previously to break the bedrock on top of the obsidian towers. Yeah, so that doesn't work anymore in 1.13. So that means that before we upgrade, we're going to have to break the bedrock ceiling above the nether, because at some point we're going to want to get up there to make a gold farm or maybe some other bits and pieces. So definitely have to make sure we break that before 1.13 comes out. I think there are some other methods, but that is the best way, I think. So that's something else to add to the list. I kind of understand why they do it, but at the same time I think it's a legitimate thing that people want to do in the game. So maybe they should add a way to do it. You know, I mean, the current way, it's pretty end game. You have to have killed the dragon, you need to do some technical stuff, you know, and people do want to get above the nether for, you know, for reasons. So I think they should add some way in the game of doing it, even if, you know, deleting bedrock with a dragon egg isn't the way they want it to happen. So what do you think? Do you think they should add a way, and what way do you think would be the best that should be part of the vanilla game? So yeah, just a couple of things there to mention. So yeah, be interested in what you think about both those two subjects. And with that, I'll let you get back to watching this time lapse. Okay, we have finished up those 3 farms. They are all kicking out the carrots, which is great. So the last thing I want to do is to do something with the item collection. So I'd like to get them into some water streams and start thinking about at least how we're going to gather those items together, rather than just having 3 chests underneath, you know, underneath the farms. So what we need is some packed ice, so we can have some ice water streams. And here is an ice spikes biome. So I've used the emits program to have a look at the world and see where we are. So this is our nearest ice spikes biome, and our base is that way, like 3,000 blocks in each of the X and Z, so a little way out. But here we are, so that's cool. So I'm going to grab a whole bunch of packed ice, this stuff right here, and grab a whole bunch of normal ice as well. I've got some shulker boxes that I've emptied out. That's another thing we need, some more shulker boxes. Jeez. Alright, so let me gather a bunch of this stuff up, and then we can finish off these farms. There's nothing quite like the sound of instant mining ice. Oh, jeez. Okay, I think I'm pretty much done. Yeah, my pick is almost dead, as you can see, but we've got quite a bit of ice. Got 1, 2... shulker box of packed ice. This is regular ice that I got from the river just down there. And also, we haven't got any spruce trees or anything yet, so I harvested a bit of that mainly for the saplings. So we've got all of that too. So let's get back to the Death Star and see if we can get this these items collecting in a cool way. Okay, we're over by the carrot farm. I've been doing a bit of thinking about how I want the item collection to work. So at the moment we have our chests underneath each of the 3 carrot farms that's collecting all of the carrots so far. But what I'd like to do is put each of them into a water stream that all comes together and joins up, and then it goes this way into our central core, which is going to, at some point, and we need to work out how, but that's going to manage our kind of storage if we get all of our farms all spitting out their items into the main core. So what I was thinking of doing is adding this red glass under here, so we can see the items flow through. So if we have our water streams underneath this glass, we'll be able to see the carrots flowing through and then going that way. So I added this red carpet up here. So first of all, the carpet's there to stop spawns, but also it's pretty cool as a little accent. So I thought a bit of red accent colour will be good, because the problem with the Death Star so far is it's very grey and black and, you know, a bit dull. So it'd be good to add a bit of colour. And looking through some of the pictures, red is something that does appear now and again in the Death Star, the actual thing. So I think we're going to have a bit of red, a splash of red for, you know, a bit of interest, bit of colour. Yeah, so I think what we need to do now is go down under each of these farms, add a dropper. So whenever a carrot goes into it, it spits it into a water stream. The water stream pushes it this way, and so all of these 3 will merge together into one stream here, and it goes that way into the core. I think that'd be pretty cool. Then we just need to finish this floor up. I'm not sure what to do about the floor design at the moment, because looking at pictures, it also all seems to be just a black floor in the Death Star, which we can do, of course, but that's not that interesting. So I'm going to have a think about that. But yeah, let me add these water streams in and the droppers and stuff and see what it's like. Okay, and here is our carrot guy. He's doing the farming. So he's planting down things as we've seen before, but I just wanted to show you one thing. So I found this really cool mod that allows you to see a villager's inventory. So if I hold down shift and click on the guy, this is his inventory, and you'll see that he will just stay here and keeps planting until his inventory is empty. So this guy will now just stay here, keep planting until this is empty, and then he'll go off, get some more carrots, and then he'll notice this block again, come back and keep planting till it's all gone. So yeah, just wanted to show you that because that is pretty cool. So while he is planting all that, we should see some carrots flying through our water stream. Oh yeah, baby. And here's where they all meet. So I've got one for each. So it meets at this kind of crossroads. So these will come this way. Sometimes I go a little bit past and then come back again, but that's all cool. See that one shot past, then it comes back again this way. So yeah, that's all right. I've tested it all out. No carrots get stuck or anything. And then they just go down this way, out through the door. Now at the moment, I've just got a temporary chest just to collect them. But what will happen is, I think, is they'll just fall out and land down there somewhere. And we need to think about what we're going to do with items, because for these carrots and some of the other farms, I want them to go up to the trading hall and also the villager breeder. So probably to the villager breeder first, make sure the villagers have got plenty of food, and then go down into the trading hall that we have, and then once that's full up, then down into the main storage. So we do have to think about how we're going to route items around the Death Star, but that will come in the future. Yeah, so this is pretty much done. So in terms of the floor, I need to work out what to do here, because I tried out a few things, and what tends to happen is Endermen just spawn like crazy if you don't make it spawn proof. So we need to hide some lights and stuff. Yeah, so we need to think about what we're going to do here. So I'm going to come back to that, but for the time being, just got this glass, and then I've got carpet on top of the black. So I've got black concrete here. I've put a few lights in just to illuminate our water streams so we can see the items. I want to swap these out for sea lanterns at some point, so we do need to get sea lanterns pretty soon. But yeah, this is all working. So let me just quickly go into game mode 3 and show you the item stuff. Let's go game mode 3, go down here, and so here is how it works. So I had to redo some of this because I had 2 hoppers previously, but yeah, got this all working. So obviously there's a hopper minecart above the hopper, goes into there. Items go into the dropper. We have a comparator that sees it, and a little simple smart dropper, I think that's called, a smart dropper. It's not particularly fast, but the rates of the carrots coming in here are not particularly fast either, so we don't need a super crazy fast one of those. And we've got one at each. There you go, that one's flashing, so he's doing his thing. So yeah, I cleaned up all the scaffolding, so that's how it looks underneath. Just wanted to show you that. So there we go, the carrot farm is pretty much there. Just need to think about how we're going to decorate this room. I'm not going to worry too much about that today, just wanted to get it functional. And of course, one of the reasons why I've chosen to do carrots first is because I want to get villager trading up and running, our villager breeder as well, because we need to get a mending book. So that's what this all is about, and the reason for it. I've left up the track down to the villagers over there we've been breeding, because we'll need that for the breeder and stuff. So yeah, pretty good, pretty good. All right, my geeks, we are about done for this episode, but as is tradition now, we are finishing up in the Geeks God Hall of Fame, and we have a new name, a new member, Mr. Wicked. There he is. So, Mr. Wicked, thanks very much for all of your support and suggestions over a number of episodes. I see your name crop up quite a lot with lots of good comments and ideas, which is really cool. So keep that stuff coming. So Mr. Wicked, I was going to say Mr. Geek, Mr. Wicked is in the Hall of Fame for all of that support and suggestions on a consistent basis. But in particular, a really good idea from last episode that I really like was what we can do is we can spawn a whole bunch of iron golems about the Death Star, maybe a few on each floor, and we could create a texture that make them look like a galactic security droid, like K2SO from Rogue One. So that would be cool. So I think we can do that and have them all kind of around here protecting us from any kind of Enderman that might spawn, because there's no way we're going to make every single block spawn proof. You know, we'll try, but they're gonna turn up. They will do. So that will be useful. So thanks very much for that idea and all the other suggestions. Keep them coming. And to all you other geeks out there, I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, then please leave a like. It really helps out. And of course, if you're new, hit that subscribe button. And of course, I'm always looking for ideas and suggestions and ways to improve. So get that stuff down in the comment section. Okay, that's about it. So until next time, I'll see you geeks later.